Welcome to New Year, New Energy, where we're going to be talking about the energetic new year and taking an oath to emerge into a new version of ourselves as empaths and highly sensitive people. I'm going to wait for people to tune in. If you're watching the replay, I'm going to put in the caption at what point you need to skip to in order to start watching the juiciness, but waiting for everybody to tap in. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hello. This is the awkward part where we just wait for people to tune in because you don't want to be talking to nobody. Plus, I have a very important question for y'all, or questions. In all candor, yo estoy en mi cama. I'm in my bed. I'm in my room, in my bedroom. My husband is also doing some holding session, and he has the office today. So I'm here. Okay, as we're waiting for people to come in, I want to ask you, in terms of your relationships, how are you feeling right now? Just give me one emoji to symbolize how you feel about all of the relationships in your life right now. One emoji. By the way, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Look at that. And if you can hear me, give me one emoji to symbolize how you feel about all of your relationships in your life right now. Okay, good. You hear me. I got a, what's the little emoji? The inspector emoji. I got a shh emoji. I got a crying emoji, a melting emoji, another crying emoji. So if you're just tuning in, we're dropping an emoji for how we feel about our relationships right now. A hug emoji, a swirl tornado emoji, one of these. That emoji, a sparkle, a rainbow, a dancing emoji. I love it. Another one of this, a question mark. Okay. Thank you for answering that. In terms of your career, in terms of your work, if you work, if you're a stay-at-home parent or stay-at-home whatever, that counts as work. Everybody works. In terms of your career, drop an emoji for how you feel about yourself in terms of your career right now, your relationship with your work right now. Somebody says it depends which one. That's a good question. He's talking about lovers. That's tea. In terms of your career, okay, we have a crying emoji, an anguish emoji, sunglasses, okay. Upside down smiley face, sweating, smiling and crying, which is definitely one of my favorite emojis of the last 3 years. Ferociously crying, another glasses, one of these. I think some people use this one as a smile, and it's not a smile. Crying with the mouth open, steam coming out of your mouth, nerd face, one of these. Okay. In terms of your relationship with yourself, okay, your relationship with yourself, drop an emoji for how you feel for that. And for those of you who are watching the replay, I'm trying to dictate what everybody is sharing so that you feel like you're here with us, because I know some people can't be here. In terms of your relationship with yourself, we got the emoji that goes like this with the eyes just like really, really low. We have a plant. People who are just tuning in terms of your relationship with yourself, drop an emoji for how you're feeling. We have a kiss, just a blank person, a hug emoji, a lock. That's interesting. Oh, we got somebody who dropped all. This person is just on the best. I need to hear from you. Sparkle, heart hands, kisses. We have somebody with sparkly eyes. I love this for y'all. A person that's sweating, a broken heart that's healing. Okay. We have a swirly eyes emoji, a little genie, stale face, and little hearts. Okay. The reason that I'm asking this is because we are just about to reach the real new year, okay? If you just started following me, for the last couple of years, I've gotten brave enough to create content around the fact that I don't really follow the Gregorian calendar. And I haven't for over 5, 6, 7 years now. In terms of taxes and my daughter's school calendar and all the normal human stuff, yes, we have to go from January to December. In terms of the seasons, we have to go from January to December, kind of. But what I really follow as a person who honors themselves as an energetic being first, I follow the energetic calendar. And so if you're not familiar with the energetic calendar, it basically goes with both the seasons and the astrological calendar. So if you're not into astrology, I'm gonna need you to get out because this ain't for you and I'm not for you, okay? One of the main ways that I teach and love and encourage people to learn more about themselves is to delve into astrology. So much so that within my membership community, we have had several astrologers come in and have like from one-on-one classes. I've even taught how I flow with the cosmos. That recording is on my website if you want to purchase it. Somebody just bought it the other day and sent me the most rave review. We've had astrologers come in and talk about working with the planets and parenting. We just had an astrologer come in and working with the planets and finding love and sustaining love in your life. The planets are everything. And so when March rolls around and we reach the equinox and we reach Aries season, we have the opportunity to step into a new portal. Okay, hello to everybody who's joining. You missed a really good emoji session, okay? When March rolls around, we have the opportunity to step into a brand new portal, to jump into what really counts as the new year. It's a portal of restoration. It's a portal of renewal. It's a really, and I keep saying the word portal because it really is stepping from one year into the next. You know how when January 1st comes around and everybody's like, it feels the same? It's because it is, right? We're in the dead center of winter, okay? We're in the dead center of winter. It's a time when we're really meant to hibernate in a way and take stock of the lessons and the blessings that and the opportunities that we have been offered by spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call your higher power. The higher power is up to you, but I do believe that we should trust that something is around us, right? Giving us opportunities and offering us guidance on our journey and resources and help on our journey. And so the equinox comes around, okay? The equinox this year is on March 19th. And equinox literally, I don't know if you can hear the screaming that's outside, but there's a child that's just going off. The equinox literally means equal. It's a day when there is equal light and equal darkness, okay? That's when the time will start to shift. I know many of you are waiting for like there to be way more hours of light than there is darkness. That's going to start to shift with the equinox, okay? If you're on the northern hemisphere, we're going to step into the spring equinox. If you're on the southern hemisphere, it's going to be the autumn equinox for you. So the equinox brings, like, again, there's this like almost like dead center. And the way that I see it in my mind's eye as somebody who is clairvoyant is like literally the equinox come and there's like literally it's a split in time, a split in the energy of time. And then literally it splits in half and allows us to walk through it. The energy with which we walk through the equinox matters more than you know, more than you think, okay? The energy and the mindset, even the problems, and not even the problems, but the ways that you make an oath to handle your mind, your body, your spirit, your relationships, your career, right? Which we've already like touched on in the intro of this. The way that you vow and make an oath to step into this portal this next year is what's going to continue to materialize for you. Okay, I started off in my career talking very heavily about manifestation because I had just experienced how much of a change it made for me. And I wanted to tell everybody like, oh my God, look at these practices that I am saving this live. I am saving this live. And I'm going to do my best to download it and upload it to YouTube as well. I don't know how the sound is going to be. Sometimes it be choppy, but I am going to save this live. But try to stay, okay? Because I have some like special things that are going to happen here, special offers. I would stay if you were you, if I were you. We shouldn't be out here later than 8 p.m. Let's see. Y'all know I could chat. But the energy with which you step through the Equinox portal is super, super important, okay? When I started to talk about manifestation and really teach about it and teach these techniques that have really helped me in my life, I later on realized, I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta be really careful about how I teach manifestation, because we are energetic beings, we are spiritual beings first in these meat suits, in these avatars, in these bodies. We're always manifesting. And so I have strayed away from teaching about solely manifestation, and I've started to along my journey teach more about who we are as humans living nuanced experiences, which is why I talk about identity and why I talk about things like motherhood and marriage and sensitivity, right? Neurodivergence and mental health, and also who we are as spiritual beings, and why I talk so much about spirituality and activate my clairvoyant and claircognizant and clairaudient, all the clairs, all the psychic gifts to help people to awaken the healer within themselves. And so I really want to drive, if you do anything, is pay attention to the fact that March 19th to March 21st are super, super important days. And that's sort of like, I hate to give like a cutoff, but like we still have time. If there are things that you're dealing with, there are some things that we're dealing with that we're not going to have the solutions to. I'm dealing with things right now that I do not have the solutions to. Okay? But we can make an oath. We can make an oath. We can set powerful intentions. We can use the tools that we have, invest in new tools. There may or may not be a new workbook on my website right now. We can invest and make an oath with our voices, with our bodies. We can make an oath with our dollars, and decide to spend energy, time, money, whatever, to show up in this new energetic year in the ways that we really, really want to present. Okay? And so we step into the equinox. We have this amazing portal. I'm going to call on you to make an oath today, and I'm going to give us a chance to make an oath together. Then we have Aries season, which happens, again, between the 19th and the 21st. I believe it's also on the 19th this year. I didn't check my dates, but Aries season also comes in with the equinox, which is super important, because that's what also marks this new energetic year, okay? And that's because Aries is the first sign. Do we have any Aries here? Aries suns, Aries moons, Aries risings. Let me know in the chat. I need to like engage with y'all. I know y'all are chatting, but I'm like in a flow right now. I was talking about this right today because I definitely feel the energy shifting. Absolutely. For some of you, for the women who are tuned in, you may even feel your cycle shifting. My cycle has shifted, okay? Where you're late, or you might have gotten your period early. Like, it happens. The energy is shifting. It's giving us a chance to realign and to sort of land where we need to land, okay? So I love the idea of these oaths if you're not in the space to do. Yeah, oaths are amazing. So we have Aries moon rising over here, Aries rising, love it. One of my best friends is an Aries sun, and it's just such a crazy relationship because I have no fire in my chart whatsoever, and she's just like all the time, and I love her for it. We balance each other out a lot. I'm a water moon and water rising and water everything. But then so back to the energetic new year, we go through this equinox portal, and then we have this Aries energy to work with. If you're not familiar with the signs, Aries is not only the first astrological sign, but it's a fire sign ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is the planet of action and initiation, even war. Like, Mars is ready to go, Aries is ready to go. It's like we are not only walking through this portal, but the energy is charged. Like, it's almost pushing us through. So that now that I've given you this visualization of like almost like the parting sea, the light and the darkness just parting the way for you to walk through, then comes Aries right behind you to like light a fire to your dynamite. And so there's like, you almost have to ask yourself, like, if I wasn't stopping, If there were no breaks on my journey, where would I want to end up? If I'll give you a moment to write that down, because that's actually a really great reflection and a journal prompt. And somebody type it in the comments here, okay? If there were no breaks, if there were no breaks on my journey, and I was just going and going, where do I want to end up? Thank you, Sabrina. Where do I want to end up? Who do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to be living? How do I want my life to look like? What do I want my life to smell like, to taste like, to sound like? How do I want my body to feel? I'm not asking you to answer it now, but if you want to, somebody already said nirvana. Right, but that's subjective, right? Because like, what is your nirvana? My nirvana doesn't feel like your nirvana. Your nirvana. Absolutely not, probably. Right? We have different ideals and different ways that we process the world and different ways that we want to feel. And so take that with you. If there were no breaks on my journey, where would I want to be? What would I want my world to feel like? What kind of skills do I want to have? How do I want to react to the world? Because that's what this is. Life is just a game of reactions. Once you gamify your life, life becomes a lot more understandable. That's a major cheat code, okay? And it may sound silly to some, I don't care. Once you gamify your life, you're able to understand, okay, if life is a game and I'm the main character, then all I need are tools. All I need are power-ups. I got to make sure I'm juiced up. Look at this. I got to make sure I'm juiced up, that I'm fed and nurtured and ready to go. I got to make sure my team is on point, and if not, get rid of the people who are trying to take me out. Stay in the right environments. If not, look for them. And more than anything, stay resourced. Okay, one of the reasons why I wanted to hold this live today is because I've been creating so much content about high sensitivity, because it's the content that I want to create moving forward. If you've been here for a long time, there's some of you that have been following me since I started my Instagram account. There's some of you who have been following me since I started to create content in 2013, and there's been a long evolution. I still have my core, right? I'm still me. I'm still the same me. And there's still a core of well-being, a core of connection, and a core of I don't have any other word. I think connection is the word that I'm looking for. But I've talked about anything. I started off talking about how deeply, deeply, deeply depressed I was, right? Who was there for that? Deeply, deeply depressed before I became a mother. And then I went through my motherhood journey, and so many people followed me then and followed me through bringing Ava Luna to the world. And then it was like, I'm a mom. And then it was me talking about all my struggles, trying to learn how to parent for the first time and sustain a 9-to-5. And then I quit my job and I started doing this full time more than 5 years ago. And then I started talking about more depression and anxiety because I wasn't ready for the entrepreneurial journey. Nonetheless, I wasn't ready for the entrepreneurial journey as a highly sensitive person who knew she was an empath but didn't know that they were one and the same, who has never run a business before, who didn't have a team, and more than anything, did not have the proper tools to energetically sustain herself, to spiritually sustain her. Right? Somebody just mentioned that my brother passed away. And so I wasn't energetically, spiritually, mentally. Then my brother passed away. And then you want to add grief on top of that. And so I thank you all for being here, who have been following me for this long. If you're new here, now you know a little bit about me. But I've been through a lot and my content has changed so much. And I think through the years, all I want is to continue to evolve. Because if I'm helping you do that, why not me? Why wouldn't I? Right? Why wouldn't I evolve? Why wouldn't my teachings evolve? Why wouldn't I learn more about me and learn more about the world and want to share that with you and have my content evolve? I'm new. Your energy. Thank you. That's so sweet. And so recently I'm like, damn, this found passion for high sensitivity and empathy and really caring for the sensitive souls in the world. Culmination of everything that I've been through. And it's coming through at a time when the world needs it the most. It makes me feel so in alignment. It makes me feel so in alignment with my journey. It makes me feel so grateful for every hardship, everything that I've been through, all the pain, all the moments that, trigger warning, suicide, okay? If you need to leave now, please leave. But it makes me feel so grateful for every moment that I no longer wanted to exist. And so I wanted to when you're promoting something or when you're creating content, I feel like it can get lost in the coziness of it all, right? And there's a true passion and true educated on the topic. Like, it's insane. Like, what I am teaching now is so well grounded. And so anybody who I get the opportunity to touch with my work, I'm just so grateful for it. I really am so grateful. And I only want to continue to lead from this space of gratitude and this space of love and this space of deep integrity. I'm trying hard not to cry, if you can't tell. I'm just really grateful that I get to talk about this stuff. When I think of, right, all those versions, I want you to like take a moment and like think of, and maybe you're at a moment like that now, but like think of all of the past versions of yourself that you could reach out and like, if you could reach out and touch them and grab them and tell them, what would you tell them? Drop that in the comments, right? If you could go back in time and grab younger you and be like, wait, I gotta tell you something, okay? Something really important. What I would literally tell myself in my deep depression is like, yo, you're not weird. You're not weird. You're not like to this or to that. You're just a highly sensitive person. Go buy the books. Go read the research. It's going to change your life. Go check out. It's going to change your life. And so to be able to teach everything that I am teaching right now and be able to weave it together with love, with just means everything to me. So thank you for holding space for me. I didn't cry, thank God. Not that there's anything wrong with crying, because that's actually a rule in my membership community. I'm like, we can express ourselves and we can cry. And if you apologize for yourself, you're out. No, I don't kick anybody out, but it is a rule. Thank y'all so much. And so with that said, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, right? Because, and I did put notes down because I knew I was going to do this. We're already 30 minutes in. The meat and potatoes, which is, let's talk about high sensitivity, right? Drop in the comments if you can. Drop in the comments if you consider yourself an empath, if you consider yourself a highly sensitive person. Also drop in the comments if you're not familiar with any of these terms and you want me to break them down. Thank you for the heart eyes. And thank you for the beautiful compliments. Somebody said I would tell myself, just let yourself feel and move gracefully with it. Exactly. I would tell her that it's already within you. It's the journey in, not anywhere else. Believe in who you are. You are spot on, blessed, and keep going. You're not too much. Do the things. You're so much braver than you think. I love these. Speak passionately into existence the beauty-filled spaces you fill. You are a star. I love these messages. Love them. I love them. Okay, so people are saying, I'm both. Yes, yes, and yes. Empath ear. HSP, OD, both. Yes, we got hand emojis. Empath and HSP, highly sensitive. Okay, so everybody, right? We got about 40-something people here right now. There are people who have like empathy, right? We all have empathy. We all have the capacity for empathy. And then there are empaths. I shared this and I went through a whole breakdown. I have a 90-minute class for sale on my website right now called the Empowered Empath. Shout out to you if you join the Empowered Empath. I broke down everything from what it means to 3 scientific differences of the highly sensitive brain, which I'm going to give you a little sprinkle of today because I want you to check out that class. The gifts, the spiritual connection between the scientific for us as spirits, what that means for us as spiritual gifts. If you're watching this right now, that class, the Empowered Empath, is on sale for $50. Right now, until an undisclosed time, it's on sale for $1. Get off of here, or if you want to do it right now, go and buy that class. It is, if you watched it, if you were there, leave a little something in the comments about it. It was probably one of the best classes I've ever taught. Okay, so I definitely recommend it. 90 minutes of pure gold. I'm telling you right now, from somebody probably known to man on empathy and on high sensitivity, especially from the perspective of a marginalized person, there's no information out there that's as concise as this. Okay, so enjoy that. It's a $1 sale. You don't want to miss it. Okay, let's break down. Let's talk about empaths and HSPs, right? I'm going to abbreviate highly sensitive person because it's just too much. HSPs. Oh, let me take this off. Hold on. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. This happened to me last time. And then I couldn't use the replay. Yes? Okay. Not as great, right? I'm a stickler for good sound. Like, I cannot watch something if it doesn't have good sound. I'm sorry. And that's a tip for any content creators here. We don't care about your camera quality, sis. We care about your sound. Okay. I don't know what I said that y'all didn't hear, but I'm going to mention it again in case you missed it. I taught a 90-minute class called the Empowered Empath back in December. And it is the most comprehensive collection of information that's on the internet right now about high sensitivity and empathy and being an empath. I don't want to say empathy because I don't want to confuse you, but being an empath and being a highly sensitive person and becoming empowered. This is coming from somebody who has done so much research, like probably the most research known to man about high sensitivity. I've done it for years. And there is no class out there or content like this on the internet, especially from the perspective of a marginalized person. All of the information that you're going to find on high sensitivity is from a white person, from either usually a white man or a white woman, white wealthy woman or a white wealthy man. Okay, so if you want to feel seen as a highly sensitive person, I recommend that you purchase it. That class is usually $50. It is on sale right now for $1. Okay, so go and grab that. Listen, I'm not just saying that. If you joined the Empowered Empath, let me know in the drop in the comments, leave a little testimonial about how you felt about it. I think it was one of the best classes I ever taught. It's definitely one of my favorite classes I've ever taught. I don't know if you tag somebody, if they'll be able to see it in the comments, but definitely let your people know. MelanieSantos.co/classes. Enjoy. But in that 90-minute class, I broke down like the details of high sensitivity and being an empath, some of the scientific differences of the highly sensitive brain, the spiritual gifts that are connected to the scientific differences of the brain. It's so in depth, like how to care for yourself, what happens if you don't. And I want to touch on a little bit of that now. I do want you to purchase that class because it's just so good. But I'm going to break down a little bit of that now. Okay. Empaths and HSPs. Why are we categorized like this? Again, we have scientific differences in our brain. Somebody DM'd me like very snarky when I started to talk about this at some point last year. And they were like, well, how do you know that your brain is different? And I'm like, there's no blood test, there's no scan for you to do. I mean, I'm sure there's like brain scans, but like who has the money and the time and the resources to actually get their brain scanned? If you are an empath or a highly sensitive person, you know. It is a mental, physical, and a spiritual experience, okay? I'm gonna look at my notes now because I don't want to step over my words and it's just like very cookie cutter information. Like you just know. You're emotionally attuned and feel things extremely intensely. Okay? You can you can scientifically take on the feelings of other people. The physical feelings, the physical sensations of other people. You can take on the emotions of other people. Okay? You are very easily overwhelmed by stimuli. Light, color, sound, texture. I want to see checks. Thank you for that check. I want to see checks in the comments if you resonate with any of that I'm saying, or the heart emoji works too. Easily overwhelmed by stimuli, easily overwhelmed by like too much noise, too much lights, too many people, too much of too much, right? And you feel that overstimulation in your mind, in your body, and even as a spiritual experience. Sometimes you feel extremely exhausted. You struggle with requiring periods of solitude to recharge because you're overstimulated, right? Sometimes you may even, and I want to clarify this, there's not one type of empath and not one type of highly sensitive person tampoco. Okay, people have this misconception that like all empaths and all highly sensitive people are, number one, we're all introverts. Do I seem like an introvert to you? We're all introverts and we're all super nice and we're all super loving. Dime. No. Okay? There's a small population. There's a population, 20% of the population. Let me start there. 20% of the population are empaths, are highly sensitive. And there's no way to test for it because it's a trait. Okay? It's not a disorder. If it was a disorder, you can test for it. It's a personality trait. So far. Okay? And 20% of the population are highly sensitive. There's a certain population, I forget the figure right now, but there's a certain population of highly sensitive people who are highly sensitive extroverts. Hello, put me in the dictionary next to that, because you might go through these phases where you're like, I want to go out. I want to see people. I want to hear music. I want to be around a lot of energy. I go through that. So one of my best friends is in the comments. V, did we not just do that a couple of weekends ago? Where we got together and we're just like, ah! And then the next day we went to brunch and we're like barely talking to each other. Highly sensitive extrovert. It's a real thing. Okay? So don't like listen to this and be like, oh, I don't resonate with this. Like truly listen. Okay? I don't like the word ambivert. I think it's a cop out a little bit. I like highly sensitive extrovert. I think there are introverts, there are extroverts, there are highly sensitive extroverts. I think the people who call themselves ambiverts just haven't discovered that they're highly sensitive yet. I don't know. That's my theory. Who knows? Moving forward, again, you need time to recharge. You struggle with setting and maintaining clear boundaries, which we're going to talk about in a second. Okay? We're probably going to be here till like 8:15, just letting you know. Struggle with setting and maintaining clear boundaries. You feel that you're more deeply intuitive, not just spiritually, but again, you just like, you could be next to somebody and just intuit what they're feeling, taking on the emotions and taking on, you know, their sensations without even them opening their mouth. You could just feel their energy through your energy walls. And then just the telltale sign, people just telling you like, you're too much. You're too sensitive. Don't take this so personally. Don't take this so personally. And feel free to share some of the crazy shit that you've heard as an HSP, as an empath. I've heard, and I've even called myself some of these things in my journey to loving myself. I'm butter, I'm a feather, I'm made out of whatever. In Spanish, it's really vulgar, but we say, estoy hecha una mierdita. Está hecha una mierda, right? That you're like literally made out of shit because you're like melting away. It's a real thing. It's a real thing, okay? And it's sad that the majority of people, including empaths and highly sensitive people themselves, don't know what an incredible gift it is to be highly sensitive. Okay, you're too defensive. Another one. Somebody says, highly sensitive person here, and my son is HSP. Just wrote a children's book about a little boy returning to school after summer break. More literature and talking about this, especially in our cultura. I love that. Can you please send me a link to that? I love that. It's really, really sad that highly sensitive people, empaths, their families, their friends, and just general culture, like the general consensus is that people hate us. It's actually one of the reasons why I started to talk about this so heavily, and one of the reasons why I created Energy Alchemist, which is my 7-week program that starts in just 20-something days. One of the reasons why I created that program, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta put the pedal to the fucking metal. I gotta create this sacred space for people to learn deeper about themselves and weave in Kundalini Yoga in there so they can heal their overwhelm in the process, because I am tired of people talking shit about us. And this has all happened after October 7th, right? When everybody is realizing, oh my God, we are literally watching genocide through our phones. And then we're watching this like war on the people through our phones. And then there's a war of the people happening as well, because what I was seeing was people judge themselves, which is still definitely happening, but people judging themselves and pointing the finger at who's doing too much, who's not doing enough, and who should be doing more. And a lot of the sentiment was, oh, where are the spiritual teachers, which I agree, and I've called them out in my own video. A lot of people were like, where are the empaths? Where are the people who call themselves empaths? Where are they? Because they want to be talking about, I can feel everything, but like, where are they now? And there's a tweet or something that went viral along those lines, and I remember just being so upset. One, because of the judgmental quality of it, and two, because I'm like, they're kind of right. I'm like, they're kind of right. And I also felt there was like this feeling of like, they're right. Like, where are the empaths? Where are the highly sensitive people when the world needs them most? And then there's another part of me. I'm a Gemini, so I'm constantly having conversations with myself. I have many with different voices going on in my brain. And the other voice was like, but they're probably not showing up because they don't know how to. They're probably not showing up because they're not well resourced. They're probably not showing up because they feel like they're crumbling. And that definitely was the sentiment. And I've had so many inspiring and enlightening conversations with so many of you in my DMs who have opened up to me like, Mel, what do I do? I'm an empath and I have no idea. How do I show up for the people of Palestine? How do I show up in the world, period? When there's so much turmoil, how do I feel useless was like one of the main themes of my conversations. I feel useless. How do I show up? And that really got me going, and I remembered that I had downloaded full download of a program that my spirit guides, my counsel told me, you're gonna have to teach this very, very soon. And then I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, oh shit, this is it. This is how I do part of how I do my part, because I mobilize in many ways. But part of how I do my part is helping and activating empaths and highly sensitive people like you and like me to really lean on our gifts, because the world needs us. And so let's talk about some of these gifts. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek about what's in that Empowered Empath class, okay? Which is $1 if you just got here. The Empowered Empath class is $1. Go to my page. I'm going to post a link on my stories so you can buy it, but $1, okay? Couple of the gifts. Number 1, we have many, but I'm going to touch on 3 that I think are the most important, okay? Oh, thank you, Aaron, for buying a badge. Oh, I totally forgot badges are a thing. I haven't been on Instagram Live in a while. But yes, if you're finding value in this, please buy a badge. Please buy the $1 class. That would super help me. If anything that I said today has resonated with you, I would super, super appreciate it. So let's touch on the gifts, right? And then let's talk about how you're fucking up. Sorry if your kids are in the room, but this is an adult thing. Then let's talk about how you could be doing better as an empath and as a highly sensitive person, because that's important, okay? And how we can be doing better, especially as the energetic new year is upon us, which is why we're here, right? I'm talking too much. Gifts. Number 1, we have deeper processing, okay? The normal brain, I don't know why I keep doing that. The normal brain processes, right? And then it stops. Thank you, why Victoria? The normal brain processes and then is able to stop. Shout out to y'all who are able to, like, I had this conversation with my husband the other day, who is fairly neurotypical. I think he got his little sparkles in his brain, but he's fairly neurotypical, where like his brain functions is pretty normally. And I'm like, when you go to sleep, what happens? And he's like, I could just go to sleep. And he does. He's like one of those people that when he closes his eyes, he just immediately starts snoring. I can't do that. Unless I have like thoroughly done like a nighttime routine and read a book and meditated and all these things, I can't do that. And that is because the highly sensitive brain is always processing, even in your sleep. Okay, and I'm not going to talk about all the scientific names for everything. Thank you for the badges. I so appreciate y'all. Really do appreciate y'all. There are scientific names for everything that I share in that class. I'm not going to share that here because it's just too much, but you're deeply processing all the time, and you're processing even more than a neurotypical brain can. The spiritual reason for that, and the way that this I don't know, I'm just going to keep doing this because I talk on my hands. The reason why this is a spiritual gift for us is because this gives us the ability to notice undertones that regular people cannot. This gives us the ability to understand energetic nuances that other people can't see, hear, feel, or taste. And that's an incredible gift if you can't put two and two together. Hey. It's an incredible gift, okay? You're perceiving details that are there that people just can't recognize. And in a world like today, that is necessary more than ever, okay? Necessary more than ever. There are a lot of people skating the surface and judging themselves and yada, 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 when there's so much work to be done. If we had more highly sensitive people, if we had a highly sensitive president, you imagine what the world would be like? If we had an empath in the government? This is why I want to teach this. This is why I am teaching this. Because there are so many people talking themselves out of grand roles. There are people right here that I bet you can be the next presidents, CEOs of these companies and these conglomerates and these things that can literally change humanity. And you are talking yourself out of it because you are overwhelmed by the world. What a dream life would be. What a dream life would be, right? If we had somebody in office. If we had people in offices, if we had people running businesses and companies that could understand the emotional details of everything. If we had people running the world that had the ability to mirror emotions, okay? Highly sensitive people have more active mirror neurons in the brain. Mirror neurons literally make us able to mirror the emotions of others. Which is why if you're an empath or a highly sensitive person and you watch a movie where somebody's crying or having an emotional moment, you immediately start crying. Who else does that? I can. I do. Every single time. Every single time. Even if I've seen the movie over and over and over again. Okay? Somebody said, that's my vision of the world. Emotionally and spiritually attuned leaders. Exactly. That would be grand. Mel for president. Please don't vote. Please don't put my name into the ballot. Mel for president. That would be hilarious. Somebody said, I just resigned from my executive career. Need the break and rest, but I will be back. Thank you for taking care of yourself in that way. Thank you for taking care of yourself in that way and for saying that and for sharing that with us. Okay? This is why I'm doing this work. For the CEOs, for the leaders of the world who don't need to be feeling overwhelmed all the time. It is inevitable that we're going to be overwhelmed. It is inevitable that we're going to be overstimulated. But most of us don't have the tools to care for ourselves. Okay? And if I have acquired so many tools along my journey, which is why I'm teaching this, which is why I'm selling it as a package, which is why I'm offering this 7-week sacred space, because I'm trying to truncate my entire journey into 7 weeks in this beautiful curriculum that I'm preparing. Because nobody needs to feel that way. Nobody needs to feel that way. We are tired as a community, as a collective, of people not stepping up and stepping in to the roles that they were created for. I want you there. I want you to win, but I want you to win and be there and feel resourced. So thank you, Jenny, for sharing that about stepping down from your executive role, because I can't imagine how many other people are doing that. We see so many people on a daily basis. We hear about so many people on a daily basis who are stepping down or not getting the positions or this, that, and the third because of their personality traits, right? Oh, she's too soft. Oh, she takes things too seriously. Oh, they this. Oh, they that. Like, what? I cry at commercials. Same. Do you think there are more POCs that are HSPs? Because we had to develop these traits and read between the lines. Oh, what a beautiful question. God. Erin, I love you. That is such a beautiful question. I have one more gift to touch on, but I do want to answer this really quickly because this is such a great question. One of the questions that I haven't touched on that I will touch on in depth during Energy Alchemist, which starts March 22nd, is how do you even become a highly sensitive person, right? Because yes, all these scientific differences of the brain are gifts, but like, how did you get them? Some people were born with them in utero, right? And the reason for that could be because those personality traits were developed in the parent, in one of the parents, and that DNA was passed on. Okay, it could be ancestral and it could be passed on from generation to generation to generation. For instance, my daughter is 6 years old, but I know for a fact she is a highly sensitive kid because I've probably passed it on to her. My mother is highly sensitive. My father is definitely highly sensitive. And he denies it because, you know, Dominican dad. But yes, there are many ways that this can be passed down. And I definitely think there are so many people of color, marginalized people, who are highly sensitive because we've had to develop those traits in order to survive. And it's crazy because you develop these traits in order to survive ancestrally, and then you have them and you're living with them in today's world, but you're not taught how to deal with them. And so people who are highly sensitive are not surviving, and they're in survival mode instead. It's such a total mindfuck when you think about it, right? You have these traits, you develop these traits almost like survival of the fittest, right? Through evolution, you're evolving and you have these traits, and your nervous system is built, starts to morph in this way to the point that it passes on in utero. And then you're born into a world where you can use it and you're not even skilled on it. You don't even know how to use it. It's absolutely wild. So thank you so much for that question. Planning on it, y'all. Gave me some time trying to be like Elon, but better. We need better Elons in the world. Definitely better Elons. Yeah, it's crazy. My son is 3 and I already see the trait. And I'm so glad that you do, because so many people don't see it. There wasn't a lot of information on this before. And so I just created a video that I've been trying to upload to Instagram for days about my experience growing up as a little girl in a Caribbean household who was highly sensitive, where it almost felt like I was unseen and unheard, like my truth was unseen and unheard because there wasn't any information on it. The term highly sensitive wasn't developed until the 90s by Dr. Elaine Aron. So imagínate like how life could be different for all of us. I'm a millennial. I'm about to be 35 years old. I think like how different could my life have been if I was nurtured in the ways that I needed to be nurtured. Trauma also plays a role, and we know that people who experience ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, develop mechanisms to survive. I'd love to read the research on the role trauma plays in HSP. Exactly what I'm talking about, right? Either it happens to us. I'm talking about it happening in utero and it coming through, right, ancestrally, through our parents' gene, but it can absolutely be developed in time. We can be born normally, go through a significant trauma, go through any trauma, and develop these highly sensitive traits in order to survive. Absolutely. And again, I want to touch on the details of that in my program because it's such a larger conversation than what we're talking about. But there are so many ways that this can come to be, that you can develop this trait. My thing is recognizing it as a gift. There are so many things and conversations and so many ways that trauma is spoken about that becomes a damper on the soul. Like the second that people start talking about their traumas or owning their traumas, it becomes a thing like, oh my God, my traumas, like I need to get rid of them. And this isn't necessarily something that I feel like we should feel like we need to get rid of. You can't, honestly, get rid of your high sensitivity. Once I think your nervous system is affected in this way, is shifted in this way, you sort of just need to learn how to work with it. And so, amazing questions, just amazing. Let's touch on this last gift. The gift of, and this is really ties into trauma, because when you think about trauma and how it affects you, it impacts the body first and stays in the body primarily. And so highly sensitive people have the ability to feel sensations in the body in an amplified way. Okay? The way that the neurotypical brain processes feelings in the body, like needing to pee or needing to being sick, pain, whatever, is at a certain level. The highly sensitive person feels it on another level. Because again, your nervous system is amplified. All those nerves endings are way more awake. We have more cells and neurons of typical in certain places of the brain. Again, I don't want to start talking about the scientifics of it, because we're talking about that. We talk about that in the class, and we're talking about that in the program. But we have more of everything. And so when you need to go to the bathroom, it's like, oh my God. When somebody's telling you a story, oh my God, this brings me back to a memory where I was talking to somebody and they were telling me about a story of them about how they were admitted to the hospital because of some injury that they have or something that happened to their bladder. And I'm sitting across from them and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like my bladder is going to explode. I remember feeling so incredibly anxious while listening to the story that I had to excuse myself and go to the bathroom. Because it was just so, and that's a true story. It was so intense for me. And this was during a time when I didn't know that this is who I was, what I was, that I had this incredible gift to take care of in this way. And so another great question. I would love to explore the connection of HSP and the autism spectrum. There are people here on Instagram that talk a lot about that. And the conversations get very, 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 very heated between people who adopt the term HSP and people who have been clinically diagnosed as autistic. My answer, I posted this comment. I'm only going to share this here in case this comes up for any of you who are watching the replay or anybody who is curious. I remember there was one of these heated discussions under somebody's Instagram post, and what I answered was this, so I can address it here. And it kind of went like click viral, where everybody was like liking the comment that I wrote, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad that this resonates with some people. Just to be clear, the person's account, the person running the account was white, and most of the people in the comments were white. And so I came through from my perspective and was like, you know what? I don't think it really matters as much. I don't think that's how I worded it, but what I said was, I think it matters more that you know that you're neurodivergent. Okay? If you have an inkling that you may be on the autism spectrum, okay. If you have an inkling that you are fully a highly sensitive person, okay. As long as you know that you need to treat your nervous system differently. Because not everybody is going to have the resources to get evaluated. Not everybody's going to have the resource to go to a doctor, a specialist, whatever, and get the scans that they need to prove that they are on the autism spectrum, to prove that they have ADHD, to prove that they have ADD. And I think I opened a lot of new perspectives that day. And I had a lot of people respond to me and be like, whoa, I never thought about that. And I'm like, that's the community that I grew up in. There are still people to this day, friends that I have, people that I grew up with, who I'm like, they were definitely, on the spectrum. My mom was a school teacher for over 30 years. And I remember her conversations with parents who, needed to get their child evaluated, and just all this talk throughout my whole existence about neurodivergence. And I'm like, I don't think many people are aware that. I don't think it's not that it doesn't matter. It absolutely does matter. But if you do not have the resources, the least that you can do is know that your nervous system is different, and know that your brain is different, and that you just need different tools. Point blank, period. Okay? Let's move on to, real quick, how you're messing up, how we can do better as highly sensitive people. Then we're going to take an oath together, and then I'm going to share something very special with you. I may or may not have a discount to my entire program that I only offered once for 2 days, and I'm offering again. Okay, so you don't want to miss it, especially if you've somebody who are like, damn, I really want to take this. I really want to join this this 7-week program. We're only meeting Saturday mornings. You're done by 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Like, it's nothing intensive. It is intensive though. It's not time intensive, but it is intensive. And I have a discount code for you. So stick around. How you're fucking up. Number 1, how you are messing up and how you could be doing better. As a highly sensitive person, number 1, let's just get this out of the way. You're not getting enough of the basics. Okay, you are not getting enough of the basics. I know highly sensitive people, and sometimes I'm guilty of this myself when I go through these seasons of like high stress, that I'm like, okay, I need to bring myself down and bring myself back into my toolkit and like reassess and like restructure. Not enough water. Absolutely not enough sleep. I don't think you understand how important getting enough sleep is as a highly sensitive person. Okay, not getting enough sleep is literally like, you're literally like slowly killing your brain. Okay, not getting enough nutrients in your body. And I'm not talking about eating crap and then stuffing yourself with supplements. It don't work like that. It really just doesn't work like that. Not getting enough nutritious food, not getting enough sunlight, not getting enough earth under your feet, grounding, like all of these basics are so incredibly important. This is why there are nutritionists. Okay, there are sleep experts, people who literally talk about and try to get you to sleep well. Like, there is a reason why people base their entire professions around these basics, because they are important. So please get enough of the basics. I do want to say, I'm going to share how you're fucking up, and I'm also going to share a little bit of love for you with each point that I make, because it is not your fault that you didn't know that your nervous system was as intricate as it is. It is not your fault that you had no idea. It is not your fault that your family had no idea. It is not your fault that you might just be learning about this now. It's not your fault that you've tried to live life the same way everybody else lives life, and it hasn't worked out for you. It's not your fault that you're exhausted, okay? That you may be malnourished. It happens, but you have a way out. Number 2, this one is so big and so important, and so important to the oath that many of you need to take today with me. Okay, number 2 is consistently staying in spaces and relationships that you know are draining. Consistently staying in spaces and relationships that you know are draining. That you know are draining. There are people in your life, either right now, either in your past, or that are wiggling themselves into your life right now, that are clinical narcissists. I actually follow somebody on this account. I'm going to try to share with y'all, if I can wrangle them together, all of the highly sensitive empath accounts that I follow here that are just so great, because it's great to see people creating content that you resonate with, myself included. And there is somebody that I follow here that her entire content is based on the connection between empaths and narcissists. And I think she has like her own training like her own coaching or mentorship program all about that. Because it's a real thing. It is a real thing. I know I keep saying that, but like, it really is a real thing. And being able to step away from the almost cult-like behavior that a narcissist imposes on you, the abuse, being able to step away from narcissistic abuse is so powerful, yet so difficult. And so difficult to call out for yourself. So I'm saying it here in case you needed to hear it. If you are somebody who is constantly or saying yes to relationships, connections, and spaces that feel like they are draining you, you can do better. You can do better, okay? You can do better. But to share love with you, somebody said, I have survived it. It's real and so scary. I've also survived it. From men and from women. From men and from women. From partners and friends and family. Okay? And I think because I have so much experience with that, I like to think it makes me even more equipped to teach about this, to teach about boundaries, because it is not your fault, to share some love with you. It is not your fault that you weren't taught how to assert better boundaries. It was not your fault that you weren't taught how to assert better mental, physical, and spiritual boundaries. Okay? And that is my point number 3. Point number 3 is that you have no spiritual hygiene. You have no energetic hygiene. No energetic hygiene. And I'm not just talking about, oh, when I get home, I sage myself. Baby, that's not doing much for you. Sorry. I'm not just saying, oh, I'm going to wear a little... I'm wearing one, and this is not all I do. I live in New York City. A lot of you live in New York City, or live in cities, or live in places that are populated with a lot of people. You think you're going to be able to, like, walk down the street and just be cool? You have an electromagnetic field around your body that extends up to 10 feet if you're wearing certain colors, which is why we wear white in Kundalini Yoga, to extend our aura, to extend our energetic field up to 10 feet. When you are walking down the street, when you're interacting with people online, even right now, our auras are intersecting. They're just touching, and they're together. And that means that whatever mess you got in your aura, that conversation you had with fulanito at 3 o'clock, and the way that you're mad about it, that is all up in your aura, and that trauma that you sustained in the 3rd grade that you still haven't taken care of, that is manifesting as different problems in your aura. If we're sitting on the train together and I'm not protected, guess who now also had a conversation with fulanito at 3 o'clock? Guess who now also is feeling the effects of your 3rd grade trauma? People, I don't think you understand. This is very, like, and these are just 3 of the points that I'm going to give you. There are so many. So many. There are so many. That's it. Time to move to Sedona. Move to Sedona. Sedona got people. Sedona, Arizona got energy vortexes, which you may be very sensitive to. One of my best friends lives in Arizona. And I still haven't visited her because I'm like, I've got to really be well prepared and make sure that I got time to, like, readjust, because it's going to be too much for me. I just got back from a trip in August to Colorado, where I didn't know. The energy in Colorado was so crazy. And the altitude and whatever. And my body didn't recover for, like, a couple of weeks after we came back. That's just to touch on, like, geography. But, like, you are sensitive. You need different skills. You need a different mindset. You need a different way to handle your relationships. Okay? This is why I put together Energy Alchemist. Again, it is a culmination of my entire journey, and this doesn't exist in the world. When I make something, I make sure that it doesn't exist, and if it exists, I try to make it better, or try to create it from my perspective and my voice. And my goal is to create spaces like this and sacred containers like this that are going to serve the people that need it. And when I teach this class, I'm going to teach from my perspective. I am a woman. I am a mother. I am a Latina. I'm a Caribbean girl. I'm a girl from New York. I was born into the noise. I was born into the overstimulation. And somehow, by the grace of God, I am still here. I have the tools. I have the resources to bring myself up, to bring myself back from overwhelm, to bring myself back from overstimulation, to be able to set boundaries, to be able to leave narcissistic abuse over and over again until I have learned my lesson, which I have. And I want to give you this, okay? I want to give you this. If you have any questions about Energy Alchemist, please drop them in the comments. I realize that we are 10 minutes over time, so I want to get us out of here in the next 10 minutes. I want to offer you something before we take an oath together, okay? We have a few people here. I want to offer you a discount code, and I haven't offered any discount codes. I taught the Empowered Empath in December, in the first week of December, I offered a discount code for 2 days, and then it was done. And I've been promoting the program ever since. And we have a small cohort, and I do want to keep it small because I want to be able to be one-on-one with you. But I know there are several people who still need to join this program, and I might tap into your DMs because some of you, I've seen your face, and I know that it's you that needs to be in it because I've seen you in my dreams, honestly. And I know that you need to be in this, and maybe you're afraid to take this step forward. I recognize that I'm teaching this course for people who may be terrified of taking that first step. It's okay. It's why I'm leading this. But for those of you who need a little bit of an incentive, I'm going to offer you the same discount that I offered that exclusive time for those 2 days. And it's $100 off. I'm not going to be offering this again. With the code SHIFT, SHIFT, in all capital letters, the code SHIFT, you can take $100 off your one-time payment. Look at that. You can take $100 off your one-time payment, or you can take $100 off your payment plan. I do offer a payment plan. So use the code SHIFT, SHIFT, and it's going to take $100 off. That code is going to be valid until March 4th. The code is going to be valid until it marches forth. So corny, but I love that. $100 off, okay? I know that, again, there are a few of you who need this. And I don't know if I'm going to teach this again, to be honest. There are so many there's so many programs and things and cohorts and stuff that I've created that I've only done once that have changed people's lives. And I have the testimonials, and people still following me from teaching those in the past couple of years, in the past 5 years that I've been working for myself full time, that have absolutely changed people's lives. And people are like, when are you going to do this again? And I'm like, sorry, it was a one-time thing. So I don't know if I'm going to teach this again, to be quite honest with you. But I know that I need to teach it now. And I've already told my story about where this came from, and how this is a soul calling, and how I'm just being the vessel and using my story and my experience and my tools and my resources, and being a Kundalini Yoga teacher and a steward of these teachings, because Kundalini Yoga is so deeply woven into this program. Because it's recharged me, because it's deeper, it's rooted me deeper in my truth, and it has removed all the calcification, not only in my muscles, but in my aura, okay? And I want to give you the gift of being able to hold your hand through this. So $100 off until March 4th. Use the code SHIFT. I'm going to send an email tomorrow, so if you're not a part of my email list and you want to think about it tonight and you want to click that link tomorrow, there's a link in my bio right now, but I'm also going to send an email tomorrow, so make sure that you sign up to my email list to receive that email with all the information. Let's take an oath, okay? Let's take an oath together. If you're down and you consent to taking this oath with me, drop a little hand or an emoji in the comments right now. I want this to be energetically appropriate. I want you to consent to taking this oath with me. And just to give you an idea of what we're taking. What are we taking an oath for, Mel? I don't want to agree to anything that I don't want to do, right? We're taking an oath that this energetic new year is going to be the year we're going to step into this portal, taking an oath that we're going to do the best that we possibly can to be better resourced. Okay? We're going to do the best that we possibly can to show up in the world sensitive and strong, because it is our inherent nature. I'm loving all the emojis. I wish Instagram saved the chat when they upload the replay. But we're going to take an oath through affirmations, because y'all know affirmations are my favorite, and I think I'm really good at crafting them. And these affirmations I also shared during the Empowered Empath, and they're beautiful. So I'm going to share them here, and we're going to take an oath together that this energetic new year, from March 19th moving forward until March of 2025, we are going to do the best that we can to connect with the strength in our sensitivity. We're going to do the best that we can to activate our empathy, so that it can not only change us and shift us in the ways that we need, but change and shift the world in the ways that it needs. Okay? We're going to say an oath, spirit, universe, Jesus, Allah, whoever you call your higher power, right? Whatever you want to call that force, mother, use me my favorite prayer. It's the strongest prayer. Use me, use my sensitivity, but also resource me so that I am not an energetic straw in the process, right? Because we deserve more than that. We deserve more, okay? So everybody put your hand on your heart. Thank you for all the emojis and the agreeance. And if you're watching the replay, do this with us, okay? Close your eyes, take a deep belly breath for me. Filling your belly with air like a balloon. Exhale deeply. Inhale deeply again. Exhale, ah. I'm taking an oath to empower my sensitivity this year, because there is no reason to accept a life where I feel disconnected from myself, where I feel disconnected from my purpose, where I feel like I don't belong. I belong here. I was made for this life, and I've been preparing for this life for lifetimes. I'm making this oath to myself and to the world, because I know that I am not alone in the ways that I feel, mentally, physically, and energetically. And although I am uniquely wired to perceive everything more deeply, I am worthy of existing peacefully and feeling confident in my unique expression. I am taking this oath because I am worthy of feeling secure in my connections, in my interactions, and my relationships. I am taking this oath because I am worthy of setting boundaries for my highest and greatest good, and the greatest good of all. I am taking this oath to empower and root in the power of my empathy and of my sensitivity, because I am worthy of choosing my highest path as a catalyst for tender love and detailed care, for deep transformation, equipped to create responses and spaces, conversations, and moments of change necessary as we are breaking down this world to rebuild a new one. I am taking this oath because I now understand that in a tapestry of people yearning for empathy, understanding, and authentic connection, my sensitivity is not just a personality trait. It's not just a personal attribute, but a beacon illuminating the path forward towards a more conscious and harmonious existence for myself and for everybody that's connected to me. And lastly, I am taking this oath. I am taking this oath. I am taking this oath. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. I am taking this oath because I know that by not choosing to integrate with the wisdom of my unique blueprint, to integrate tools and practices that will clear and reestablish my foundations as solid physical and energetic roots, that I'm going to continue to hold myself back from my potential and from being the energy alchemist that I was created to be. From being the energy alchemist that the world needs me to be. Take a deep breath in, deeply inhale. Hold it. Feel that oath in your belly. Exhale deeply, pulling your navel back and up. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale deeply. Fill your belly until you can't feel anymore. Sip a little bit more air. Hold it. Hold that oath in your body. Feel it brimming from you. Exhale deeply. One last breath. Make it count. Feel it vibrating through you. All these words. Inhale deeply. Let it shine from your aura. All the words that were just said. Feel it in your signature. Exhale deeply.
Drop your head back. Relax your shoulders, relax your hands and your arms. And just say thank you to yourself. Thank you to yourself, almost as if you're working from the future. Thank you, me, for all the decisions that I'm about to make that are for my betterment, for my evolution, for my growth, that are going to help me for the rest of my life. That's going to change my life. Thank you for all the ways that I change my life this year. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Erin says that was so beautiful. It made me a little emotional, very HSP of me. Yeah, imagine how hard it is to not cry while saying that. It's I tap into the medicine woman in me, and I hold it in, and I use it for power, and I use it for strength. But it's such an incredible oath. And I'm so glad that you were here to do that with me, that we were able to set that very powerful intention. I really hope and pray, again, we are like 20 days away from Energy Alchemist. I am so excited for this journey. I wanted to share, maybe in a reel, and maybe I will, why I built it the way that I did, why I picked 7 weeks, why I weaved in Kundalini Yoga. I mean, I've already mentioned it here. Why we're starting on March 22nd. It's the Equinox. I want us to walk through this portal. I want highly sensitive folks to walk through this portal. It's also me paying homage to when I became a Kundalini Yoga teacher 3 years ago now. 3 years ago. That's crazy. Has it been 3 years? 2 years? 3 years? Where I got to walk through the Equinox portal resourced and clear. And for the first time in my life, not experiencing overwhelm, not experiencing crippling depression and anxiety. For the first time in my life. Thanks to Kundalini Yoga. Thanks to being in a sacred container with other people who were just like me. Thanks to the teacher. Shout out to Siri Shikar for her leadership and all the teachers that I got to be with and spend time with and learn from and sit at their feet. I'm so excited. At about a moment I spaced out. I'm like, wow, this just feels so good. I'm so excited, so deeply excited. And so again, if you're called to join us, we start on March 22nd. If you can't make it that day, that's fine. We're having our first full day on March 23rd, which is a Saturday. The classes are Saturdays from 10 a.m. Eastern time to 1 p.m. And there's going to be a Kundalini Yoga class for every single week. We're only meeting once a week. We have a hub that it's already active, that the people in our cohort already have access to. We're going to have a private chat where we'll get to chat with each other throughout the 7 weeks to just share our experiences. You will be doing your own 40-day sadhana. You may be familiar with sadhana, which just means daily practice. And we're using basically Kundalini Yoga to carry out our teachings, because I'm going to be lecturing and we're going to be having amazing conversations about high sensitivity and talking about all the scientific things and boundaries and trauma and all these things, and also be working on it, working on our energy, installing that programming into our bodies, into our physical bodies, moving our bodies, clearing our aura, doing energy work together in the process. And so I like to say that it's the first program of its kind, because there's nobody out there doing this. There's nobody out there talking about empathy, talking about high sensitivity, and also working on it in this way. Like, you're going to be learning about it and you're going to be doing it. And so again, if you're called to join us, there is a $100 off code if you use the code SHIFT. Type it in the comments. If you use the code SHIFT, you're going to take $100 off of your one-time payment or your payment plan of Energy Alchemist. And that's going to be valid until March 4th. Thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you so much for taking this oath with me. Thank you for everybody who purchased a badge. I'm just so deeply grateful. I don't know if you were tuned in to my stories a couple of days ago, where I shared that I'm kind of going through like a really rough growth period right now, as we all do, right? And I just shared a little rant in my stories today, because there were a lot of people who were like, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? Like, I'm going to be okay. I'm sharing this because I want you to know. I want you to know that, like, I'm able to have bad moments and I'm able to bring myself back up because I am well resourced. I'm able to be human and also know that there's so much more power to my humanity. And so to be able to be here with y'all and share this just completely, like, I feel so much love right now and so much better, even though, like, life is lifing, as Ciara likes to say. Ciara's here saying shout out to MS community, a community where we all have so many moments like this in one community. It is true. Shout out to us. Go get that 14-day free trial while you're at it. So too long didn't read the cliff notes. We talked about high sensitivity today. We made an oath together. We talked about ways that your brain is different, ways that you're fucking up, ways that you could be doing better. You got a couple of discounts. The Empowered Empath Masterclass, which is a 90-minute class on high sensitivity, is $1 right now on my website. You have $100 off code to Energy Alchemist, which starts in 20-ish days. I think 20 days or 21 days. 22 days now. Oh my God. And yeah, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for taking that oath. Let me know if you want me to share that oath with you. Let me know if you want that in the comments after I repost this. I will find a way to share it with you. It's something very special. I wrote it. It came from me. It came from my heart. But I will be more than willing to share that with you. Hugs and kisses. And I'll be emailing y'all very soon. Peace, y'all.